Good day guys, welcome to another video where we'll be looking at factorization. So yeah, we are given here two questions, as you can see. The first one is this one here, and the second one is this one. The question says factorize fully. All right, so the first one is we need to identify what type of expression is this one. So if I look at this expression, I can see that if I break these numbers down, 1 minus, if I break it down here, the second term is going to be 2 to the power of 3. Right? So just to show there, 2 to the power of 3, which means that 2 times 2 times 2, 3 times equals to 8. We haven't changed anything, and then p maintains as power of 3, and then 1 to the power of 1 of 2 is still 1. 1 times 1, any number multiplied by 1, so we can say 3. So when I look at this expression, I see the difference of a cubic. The difference of the cubic, right? So from this, there's a rule in maths to calculate the difference of a cubic. X to the power of 3 minus y to the power of 3. On the maths rule, there's what we call SOAP, which stands for same, opposite, always positive. All right? So how do we do this? The rule says that is the difference of the two which maintains the same sign, right? Open brackets, and then x now squared, opposite sign of this is what is positive. It was negative, yes, positive. And then multiplying both terms now. When I say x times y, and then says always positive, so which means the last sign here is going to be positive, which is going to be y squared, the square of the last term. Right? So every time you find a cubic equation that both terms are cubic, the difference of the both terms are cubic, you apply this rule here, SOP. Right? So if you substitute to the exercise, the first term here that we have, what is it? Is 1 minus the second one, which is 2p. Right? This between brackets, and then open brackets. The sign here is going to be, we're going to have 1 plus, remember it says same, which is same here, same sign, negative, as you can see here is negative, right, on our original term. All right, and then we come here, we maintain that negative. This is our first term, this is our second term, and then the sign is still the same, right? Same. All right, we jump this side, it becomes positive. Our first term is right here. All right, plus the times of the first term and the second term here, like what we did right here, right? So we're gonna have 1 times 2p, so we can actually put 2p, because any number multiplied with 1 stays the same number, right? And then the last rule says always positive. We're gonna keep it positive. The square of the last term. The square of the last term is 2 to the power of 2, which is this one here. The last term is this one here. You can actually use from this one. It's 2 to the power of 2, which is 4p squared, and then close brackets. So basically this is our answer. All right, this is our answer of factorization, as it says there. All right, so in order to prove that this is correct, you can actually multiply this with this, multiply this with that, multiply this with that, and then this one, do the same thing, multiply this with that, multiply this with that, multiply this with that. You should get, once you're done multiplying all of that to do your proof, you can actually, you're supposed to get, after doing all of that, multiplying all of these things, of these numbers, you're supposed to get back to this, just to prove that your answer is correct. All right, so yeah, That's done. So the second question that we have now is 81 x to the power 4 minus 16. How do you factorize this one, right? um, the simplest way that I factorize this, I factorize it because when I look at those, I can see that this is I can get a perfect square root for 81. I can get a perfect square root for x to the power 4. I can get a perfect square root to the power of 16. So the square root of 81 is what? Is 9. The square root of x to the power 4 is 2. The square root of 16 is 4. There's so many ways that you can resolve it, but this specific exercise is easier and quicker by doing the square root of each term. All right. So if you get the square root of each term, you just need to create the brackets like a quadratic equation. All right. And then you put the answers of your square roots inside here. So the square root of 81 is 9. The square root of x is x to the power of 2. Right? X to the power of 2. And then minus the square root of the second term is 4. Right? And then you come this side. You're going to have a 9x. Again, we just repeat the same thing on this side as well. Right? And then 4. All right, we can't make both sides negative because now already when we try and bring this back to the original equation, right, if we multiply this and this, obviously we're gonna get 81, because the whole idea when factorizing is to get back to the original is to go back to the original equation that was given firstly. All right, so now I can see that, okay, if I multiply that with this, I'll get that 81 and blah blah blah. All right, so what we're gonna do now, we need to make one negative and one positive, and then we are done with our factorization basically. So just to break it down slowly, obviously here I just have to check if there's a perfect square root from the first term and the second term, right? And then we always know that when we're factorizing, it must fully multiply, right? That's what's currently doing. And then we know that we have a negative sign here. In order for us to have a negative sign, one side of this brackets must be positive and another one negative, so we can get this negative here back, if it makes sense. So yeah, like I said, there's so many ways to resolve this, but in this specific on this specific equation that we're given here of 81x to the power 4 minus 16, right, the factorization is 9x squared minus 4 close brackets times open brackets 9x squared to the power of 2 plus 4 close brackets. All right, hope it makes sense. And if you have any other exercise with a similar chapter or different chapter, you can put it in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe as well. Thank you. And I forgot to mention something. So obviously if you multiply this with that, multiply this with that, and multiply this with that, multiply this with that, you should get the same thing of 81 x to the power 4 minus 16. You should get back to the original equation. All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you.